Hello, everyone. Welcome to FREEWrite Friday. My name is Jessica Lynn Johnson, and for those of you who don't know me, I am the founder and CEO of Soaring Solo Studios, and that's a company dedicated to the development and the direction of solo shows. And I've had the honor of working with hundreds of solo artists over the last many years and have personally produced, directed, and developed well over 150 solo shows. And my colleague Heather, who's a phenomenal solo artist and coach, has also worked on many, many solo shows. So we are really passionate about this art form here at Soaring Solo Studios. And a little bit about my backstory. I'm a solo artist myself. I toured for a little over 13 years and have ideas percolating for my third solo show. I'm writing a book about solo theater. I also blog for NoHo Arts. My blog is called Soaring Solo, so you can find that on the NoHo Arts website, and I'll put the link to that in the chat later. But yeah, I teach tips and techniques and tricks and all the different things you need to know as a solo artist in this business in my blog. What else can I tell you? I'm on the advisory board with the Los Angeles Women's Theater Festival, which is taking submissions right now, by the way. So go to lawtf.org for more information about the Los Angeles Women's Theater Festival. We bring in artists from all over the globe and have been around for over 30 years. So it's a wonderful organization to learn more about. And yeah, that's that's a little bit about me, or a lot about me, and I'd love to hear about you as well. So please say hi in the chat. Let me know where you're calling in from, where in the world you are, where you're at in your solo theater journey, and say hi. Say hi to everybody. We are all about community here in Soaring Solo, because even though it's a one-person play, it definitely takes a tribe to make it happen. It's a lot of work. So the mission of FREEWrite Friday is just to create a brief space, about 20 minutes of time for us to gather together, get a writing prompt from me focused on the structure of solo theater. Sorry, my dog is clawing at the door. Give me 1 second. Okay, Ruby, come on in. Come on, baby. She's like, I want to talk about solo theater. So anyways, what was I saying? Yes, so we gather together for about 20 minutes with a writing prompt and make some progress on your solo show scripts. And each one of these webisodes is meant to stand alone. So don't worry if you've missed all the previous FREEWrite Fridays. You're welcome to go catch up on my YouTube channel, because I record them all and put them there, along with other videos and things like that. So you can catch up there. Let's see. So the next one, if you enjoy today and you want to come back, is Friday, August 25th, 9 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Central, and noon Eastern. So again, I'm going to put all this information in the chat later, but just wanted to mention that. So if you're going to be doing anything distracting, go ahead and turn your cameras off. Otherwise, feel free to keep them on. And please make sure you have something nearby you to write with and write on. Okay, so we've been looking at Save the Cat by Blake Snyder, who is a Hollywood screenplay writer. And we're looking at his Save the Cat beat structure with or through the lens of solo theater. So we are on beat 11. And as I said, don't worry if you missed the first 10 beats, that's okay. You can go back and watch them and you'll still get something out of today. But beat 11 is the all is lost moment in a show. And this should really be the very lowest point of your hero's journey. So that's physically, emotionally, mentally, it's just the lowest point. And it's actually the beat before the dark night of the soul in the Save the Cat structure, which we're going to look at next time. But today we're focusing on the all is lost. So a lot of times this can be when the mentor passes away in the show, or is just lost to our protagonist in some way, shape, or form. But really any sort of significant loss or low point. It's really the moment where there seems to be no light at the end of the tunnel, no victory ahead. It just feels really low. And when I was reading online forums about this particular part of the story structure, a lot of people were getting confused with the midpoint in the Save the Cat structure. But think of it this way: the midpoint, even though that is also a low and scary point for the protagonist, this beat, the all is lost beat, is still lower than that. So you got to go lower. So I'll give you a couple of examples from the Soaring Solo community. So tonight's show, Missionary Positions, which is at the White Fire Theater in Sherman Oaks, and it's an award-winning solo show. You don't want to miss it. In Missionary Positions, I would say that this moment is when Dan, who's the lead character, loses a really dear friend in a tragic accident. And this was kind of the final straw in his wrestling with his faith and with God, where just all is lost. He is deeply, deeply distraught. And it doesn't seem like there's much hope for his faith life in the future, or his life in any way, shape, or form in the future. Or in Breakup Addict, which is tomorrow night at the Zephyr Theater in Hollywood, also an award-winning show. In Breakup Addict, Paige loses her sobriety and backslides further along in the show. And so for her, this is a really, really low moment, because she's been doing well. She's been gaining her sobriety from love and sex addiction, and then she just backslides. And so for her character, this feels like the absolute lowest moment in the story. So I know we're on kind of a sad downbeat today, but this is really important in the work that we do as solo artists. So I would say take care of yourselves as we dive into this writing about this, and only go as far as you feel comfortable going today. Maybe it's more about bullet pointing out some moments in your life, or writing about it from a more distanced perspective. But I'm going to set my timer for 8 minutes, and I want you to just free write about a moment in your life that, or the character's life that you're writing about in your solo show, that is what you would consider the lowest point, and the loss associated with that. So think about losses in your own life or in the character's life, and how at that moment that just really felt like there wasn't any hope, like that was the low point. And let yourself just free write about that. Try not to be censoring yourself in any sort of way, or judging yourself in any sort of way. It's meant to be a messy first draft. And we're not sharing these pieces in Free Write Friday. It's just an opportunity to write, be in community, and then we go through some announcements at the end, and we're done. So take these 8 minutes, go ahead and write. And if you have any questions, you can privately chat me. About a minute and a half left. Okay, please wrap up your writing. And if you wrote in a journal or something like that, I would encourage you to transcribe what you've written into a document. And I love Google Docs. I think that's a great way to work, especially when you start expanding your team and having a director or a dramaturg or technical director involved in the process. Google Docs is really friendly to work with. So I know that what we just dove into was deep and probably challenging to look at. So I want to commend each of you for hanging in there and writing about a particularly low point in your life or in the character's life in your show. And the takeaway I'd really like you to consider today is, well, first I want to say, just because you have low points or serious topics in your show does not mean audiences are not going to like your show, does not mean that your show is going to be a downer. It doesn't mean any of those things. And in fact, I would argue that if you're not willing to be vulnerable and to really take risk and to really be emotionally naked in front of your audience, your show will suffer for it. I mean, fluff is fun, but it's just fluff. And one of my favorite ensemble musicals is the show Cabaret. And what I love about it is it has a lot of fluff and it has a lot of fun and it's sexy and it's really enjoyable show, but it's disturbing and it's dark and it's complex and it's a fabulous musical. So I want to encourage you to give your audience all of who you are as a complex human being, with your flaws, with your dark moments, with your achievements and everything that makes you fabulous. Like show the fullness of who you are as a person. That will help your audience to trust you, and that will help them to be transformed by your solo art versus just trying to make them laugh for an hour and then they go grab lunch and they forget all about it. So take them on a journey, allow them to laugh, allow them to cry, allow them to think deeply and be changed fundamentally by the work that you create. So just something to think about. And because this work is very challenging, when we really do go to those challenging places with our work, I am a big fan of setting yourself up for emotional and mental and physical success and support. So creating community, make sure you're taking care of your vessel, that you're eating, that you're sleeping, that you're working out or being physical in whatever way suits your body. Your mental and emotional health and support. Are you going to 12-step? Do you have a therapist? Are you doing meditation or yoga or whatever it is that supports your healthy mind and emotional state? Doing solo theater is an opportunity to transmute and transform things that we have been through and make art out of it, but we also have to take care of ourselves through that process and pace ourselves. So these Free Write Fridays, we're just taking a little piece at a time and we're chewing on it a little piece at a time rather than trying to do the whole thing at once. Baby steps, pace yourself. Okay, so with that said, I put some announcements in the chat. So feel free to jot those down. And I'm going to walk you through them as well, because we always have a lot going on in the Soaring Solo community, lots of opportunities to get involved and to get your work out there. So starting with my free class, The Art of Creating the One-Person Play, which is a 90-minute free class that I've been doing for about a decade, maybe over a decade at this point, but now it's online, and that's happening Saturday, July 22nd, 10 a.m. Pacific, noon Central, 1 p.m. Eastern. You can just show up. You don't have to bring anything in terms of written material unless you'd like to, but I will provide a writing prompt. You just sign up through my website like you did today. So just go to soaringSoloStudios.com under free stuff and you can sign up. If you ever wanted to work with me or my colleague Heather in a more professional capacity, there's no pressure to do that whatsoever, but you're welcome to seek that support and guidance. You can email me at soaringsoloartist@gmail.com for more information about our power pairs, our small group coaching, intensives that we do, various special events that we do, and of course, one-on-one coaching as well. And then I have a virtual reading series that I do that I find is a really good stake to put in the ground. It's meaningful, it's something to work toward, and it's allows you to share your script with a virtual audience. So Revealed is something that I usually do monthly. We showcase a few different shows each month that are works in progress. And you as the solo artist would just read your script as a work in progress. And then we have a discussion with our virtual audience afterward and see what's working, see what could be improved upon, and get ideas and brainstorm. And it's meant to be a safe, creative, supportive container so that you can take your show to the next level before you commit it to memory and add tech and blocking and all the things that go into finally realizing it. So this is just an opportunity for a reading. And again, the opportunity is called Revealed. You can email me for more information about that as well. And then the next Free Write Friday, if you enjoyed today and want to come back, is Friday, August 25th, 9 a.m. Pacific, 11 Central, and noon Eastern. And if you want to go to my YouTube channel, which I also put in the link, you can check out my Free Write Fridays there and all my other videos. I have a lot of different videos on my YouTube channel, all pertaining to solo theater. And then just some festivals to have your finger on and be paying attention to, because festivals are a wonderful way to get into the solo circuit and network and gain awards and reviews, both audience reviews and critic reviews, and start touring the world and just building your solo theater resume. So some of those, the Binge Fringe Festival, which is at the Santa Monica Playhouse. It's a grant-funded festival that's happening October and November. Solo Fest, which is the largest solo theater festival on the West Coast. That happens at the Whitefire Theater, and that's where Dan's show is tonight. So if you're local or nearby LA, I definitely say get over to the Whitefire Theater tonight, check it out, see what Solo Fest is all about. Tonight's a best of fest performance from Solo Fest, but yeah, that's January through March is when Solo Fest takes place. United Solo in New York City is the largest solo theater festival in the world, and I believe they're in London now as well. We all heard of Edinburgh Fringe, which is like the mother of all the fringe festivals. Orlando Fringe is also very reputable. The Hollywood Fringe Festival. I co-produced the Joshua Tree Solo Theater Festival as well as the Soaring Solo Stars series. So those are festivals that that I produce, and Joshua Tree is in April. The Star Series is in December. And then the LA Women's Theater Festival, which I mentioned earlier, happens in March, but they are taking submissions now because it's quite a long process of determining who we're taking every year. So those are some different festivals, and there's many more other than that, but those are some just to start to be paying attention to and start to put some stakes in the ground for yourself to work toward. Let me see. And I will be taking submissions for the Stars series in December, probably in the weeks ahead. So be just looking for that email to come out. And the last thing I will say, well, actually I have two last things. So the NoHo Arts blog that I write, I put the link in there. So please go in, read the blog, learn, email me with any questions, and move your goals forward. And then again, tonight is Missionary Positions by Dan Prevet. It was nominated for Best Solo Show out of over 130 solo shows, out of 300 ensemble and all shows in the Hollywood Fringe Festival. He was in the top 4. That is, I can't even tell you how hard that is to achieve. So it's pretty incredible. And he received 2 encores from different venues, as well as tonight's Best of Fest award, which was given to him from Solo Fest, from the artistic director at the Whitefire Theater. So it's an excellent show and it's achieving quite a lot. So if you want to see the caliber of show that it takes to get rave reviews and to get great audience response and to move and transform people and win awards and all those beautiful things, then come see his show. And you can use your Soaring Solo discount code to get discounted tickets. And then Breakup Addict, which is tomorrow night by Paige Will Hyde, is also an award-winning show. She won my Star Series encore last winter. She got a Best of Fest from the Whitefire as well. She also got a Hollywood Fringe Producer Encore Award and lots of rave reviews, sold out shows. So she is also an artist to emulate. So go to my website under upcoming events and solo shows, and you can find both of those or see the link in the chat. And I think that's everything. That's a lot. I know it's a lot going on, but I really hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. Email me with any questions or thoughts, and I'm going to hop off, but I will leave the chat up in case you're still jotting down announcements. All right. Bye, everybody.